Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Maybe you're a small business expanding into a new space, a mid-sized company planning for the future, or a large operation investing in the latest equipment. Whatever your needs, Atlantic Union Bank is here, providing easy access to knowledgeable bankers with local market insights and the right digital tools to keep your business moving forward. Because you deserve a relationship manager who cares. Call, visit us online, or stop by a branch today. Atlantic Union Bank. Any way you bank.
With McValue at McDonald's, you don't just get deals on the drinks. You get deals on McDonald's drinks. So when you're breaking a sweat, embrace the chill without breaking the bank. And when your crew is running on empty, keep your wallet full while refreshing the squad.
Ace the vibe check with drinks like lemonade, frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry, or any size drink for just $1.49. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? If you're a woman, you're not alone. With over 1,000 hormone disruptors in our environment, it's no wonder things can feel out of balance. On top of that, natural changes like PMS, menopause, and other life stages can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and trapped in a constant battle with your body. But here's the good news. You don't have to suffer through it. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is here to help. This herbal formula fine-tunes your hormones, balancing estrogen, testosterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol, which can contribute to weight gain, racing thoughts, poor sleep, and more. With over 40,000 five-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. Ready to feel like yourself again? For a limited time, get 15% off your first order at happymammoth.com using code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.
Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Shit That Goes On to Our Heads, the podcast where we normalize conversations around mental health.
That's right. I'm Dirty Skittles, and alongside my amazing co-host, G-Rex, we are here to share stories and tips from our incredible guests.
Each episode, we deep dive into struggles and triumphs of mental health, offering practical advice and heartfelt support.
Because no one should feel alone in their journey. Join us as we break the stigma and build a community of understanding and compassion.
Tune in and let's start talking about the shit that goes on in our heads. Three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of Shit That Goes On in Our Heads. Today I'm here with my amazing co-host, Dirty Skittles, and we have an amazing, amazing guest. Suzanne, welcome to our show. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sorry you had to witness all of that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm here for it.
Listen, Dirty Skittles, shut the fuck up.
I love it.
So, what's going on in your life these days, Suzanne?
How long have you got?
I know, right?
At the time of recording this, summer holidays has just ended here. Like, I know it's winter for you guys, but in Australia, it's the opposite season. So my kids have just gone back to school. My youngest is in grade 4 and my oldest has just started high school. What a roller coaster that is. Like, hats off to all the parents out there. Like, you think when your primary school is just like, I don't know, but then high school's a whole other beast.
Oh, man. I remember me in high school. I don't want another me. You know what I mean?
I thought going through high school was hard. Going through being the parent is like harder because how much do you step in? How much do you don't? You want to, encourage them to be self-sufficient, but you also don't want to lose everything or get beaten up on the bus. Like, it's drama filled.
Yeah. Or were you like G-Rex in high school?
I was every parent's nightmare. I was the oldest of 4. Right. By the time I got to high school, I was already a grade above everybody I should have been at the grade above where I was, but I was held back in 2nd grade. So I was always older than my classmates. So by the time I got to my senior year, I was old enough to buy not liquor, but I was old enough to buy beer. Right.
What?
Yeah. And by the time I turned 16, all my friends were only 15. So you can't do this now, but at the time, I'd gotten a bunch of extra copies of my birth certificate. And there were a whole bunch of me like running around the Columbine area because now they all had license with my name on it. Like, that you couldn't do that now because everything's computerized. But back in the day, nobody really caught on. But there were probably 40 Gretchens running around.
Common name in Columbine.
Common name. All like, out there driving. And then by the time everybody got to their senior year, everybody was buying beer. I was the life of the party. And like,
kind of still are.
Kind of still am. But like, I had no desire to be in school, really. Like, it was boring for me because like, math and science and stuff like that came to me naturally, but it was just boring. I would spend more time out of class than I was in class. Until like the one day the principal I got called in, they're like, if you don't start coming to class, we're gonna have to suspend you. And I was like, oh fuck, guess I better show up.
How about you?
So I could graduate.
How about you, Suzanne? How are you in high school?
I was a teacher's pet, straight A student.
Really?
Turned up to everything, always on time. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
My parents wouldn't have had it any other way.
Was it the fear that kept you on the straight and narrow?
No, I didn't mind the learning side of school, especially in the higher grades where you got to do more cool stuff. I was kind of bored in primary school because it was, dry. But I did like high school, the subjects and that a bit more. I didn't like the social. I've always been a hermit, so I never liked the social side of it, and I was bullied heavily. But in terms of learning, I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Do you see yourself and your children as they're entering their high school days?
My daughter's very bright. She's a year younger than everyone. So similar to G-Rex's stuff, except on the other end, being the younger one. Like they had their sports carnival in the first week, which I can't wrap my head around. But anyway, schools do things their own way. And they didn't have a category for her because she's like the youngest one by like a year. And I was like, oh, next year you'll be fine. So, yes, but she doesn't tend to have the drive that I did. Like things just come really naturally to her, which is a gift. But eventually she's going to have to, well, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but to learn some skills to actually study rather than just know the answer. And she always gets told off for show working out. She's like, what do you mean show working out? Here's the answer. So, yes.
I just want to know where ChatGPT was when we were going to school. Like, it would have been so much easier. But, a lot of the things I learned from high school, I don't ever want to go back and revisit, right? Like, I was the oldest of four. We were latchkey kids. Both my parents worked. And so, I was in charge of, watching my brothers and sister. And that was a pain in the ass. And, I was working. I worked at McDonald's. And, I also played ball. I played softball for years. And that's, kind of how I figured out like who I was. But I don't want to go back and relive any of that. I'm so surprised that I made it to 61. Like every day I'm like, how the fuck did we actually make it this far? But, it taught me a lot too, right? Like you have one question that you always ask. It's like, where would you go back to? Right. I would go back to, 15, 16 and be like, hey, everything's going to be okay. Just kind of take the path that best suits you and not the path everybody else wants you to take.
That's such sage advice, 100%. And I think it's, when you're talking about the things that you learn, there's been a couple of occurrences helping my kids with homework or whatever. And they're like, why do we have to learn this? And at a point of pure frustration, I've said, so one day when you have your own kids, you can Google it, reteach yourself and tell them what a rhombus is.
Yeah. My son is 7 and he asks me, why do I need to know this for some of his stuff that he's learning in first grade? And I'm like, you just gotta, I guess. I don't have a reason. I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But the joys of parenting, right? So besides being a mom, what else fills your days?
So I'm a coach. I have the tagline, the Nope Coach, because I'm passionate about helping primarily women learn to set boundaries and say no without feeling like a bitch. Because speaking of school is a great example, a place where we're conditioned to be the good girl, say yes to everybody, keep the peace. Well, meanwhile, we're feeling resentful, frustrated, and why have we got to do this? It's funny how we nod along with our kids and go, yeah, yeah. But how many areas of our life, why have we got to do this? Why do I have to go to this event? Why do I have to keep showing up for this person? And most of the time we don't. It's just that we keep the status quo because we feel bitchy or mean and we want to, please everybody else except ourselves. And then we wonder why we're resentful, overeating, overworking, overshopping, telling ourselves that we need to find the right planner or the right diet or the right this. And it's like, I don't believe that's true. We just got to say no when we mean it so we can say yes to ourselves and drop a lot of these guilty shoulds that we carry around.
Where do you think you learned this? Like, when did this start for you?
Very young. Like, I think for many of us, we're conditioned very young age to just, children should be seen or not heard. And we're not taught to manage our emotions. Like, it's just, when people ask why? Because I said so. So you learn not to question, you learn not to ask. And then even going into workplaces, sometimes, a lot of the time, people will put up and shut up. They might have an innovation or they might have a really good idea, but it's not encouraged. So they just, do the minimum. And it's just kind of like, what if we fostered a place where people could ask and know that, a no is not a rejection. I think we see no's as a rejection. And I heard someone say it once, and I can't remember. I do like to attribute, but I think this is around a lot. Like, it's not, a no is not a rejection, it's a redirection. And I think so many times, if someone says no and you stop, I'm not saying push, I'm not saying go past someone's consent, like no, but, it's kind of like if they've said no to this, we get shut down and give up and quit. But like, what if there was an alternative? Like, no, do you want to come on my show? What time do you record? Oh, that's 6 a.m. my time. No, that time doesn't work for me. What else have you got? Like, I know we're recording this. This is the latest spot for you because you guys are in the States, whereas I'm like in tomorrow. So often there can be a negotiation, but people don't tend to get there. They just they either don't ask or they put themselves out, when a lot of the time people are pretty understanding and can move things around if we ask.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you have any methods to help somebody who's not familiar with setting boundaries and saying no? Like, where to start?
The biggest thing is, if someone is attempting to set a boundary with you and it stings, because it can, instead of seeing that as, like, allow yourself to feel the pain. I'm not saying disregard your feelings, but it's actually a good thing because it means they want to continue a relationship, friendship, connection with you. When they ghost, when they ignore, when they disappear entirely, that's a different thing from a boundary. And I think sometimes we think when someone starts to speak up or instill a boundary, we're like, they don't care about us or whatever. It's like, no, it's the opposite. Because if they didn't care, then you'd be in the ghosting category. So notice, when someone does begin to set a boundary, your feelings, they're valid, but also notice that it's actually a good thing. And the same for you. Like, if you have, I hesitate to say, put up with something for ages. And I think of something mundane, like say you finally get your own house and you decide there's going to be no shoes inside your house. Like, it's such a mundane example. Mm-hmm. But, your father-in-law or your best friend, whatever, comes trudging in their muddy boots or whatever, and you kind of say, excuse me, this is a shoes off house, please take them off and whatever. They could be like, well, I don't want to take my shoes off. Maybe they've got something about their feet. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. But it's like, this is your house and your space, and you get to set what is and isn't allowed here, and having a discussion. And maybe it's that they don't come over to your house. You meet them at a park or a cafe or whatever. But I think sometimes we just let people railroad and push over our boundaries. Like, you don't mind, do you? Well, yes, I do. Just this once. Yeah. Or when someone asks you a favor, can you do this? It's going to take 5 minutes, and it's going to take 2 hours. Or can you just help me pack up and move house? I saw a meme yesterday. It was so true. Anyone past 35, nobody wants to help you move house. Hire movers. No one wants to do that for a pizza in a couple of years. Click discs are not worth that.
Oh no. What's funny is I literally was just telling my husband the other day, we're both past 35 and so are all of our friends. And I'm like, you got to get your friends over here. Like, I'll get the pizza and the beer. And he's like, nobody wants to fucking do that. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. Like, we got other shit to do besides helping you with your shit. That's funny.
I'll tell you, like, when I started setting my boundaries, right after all the shit went down, it was life-changing. Like, I started saying no to a lot of things that fuck no. Like, I don't want to do that, right? Like, the people pleaser in me was now moved on to something else, like taking care of me, prioritizing me. And it was life-changing. And I wished I'd learned more about boundaries when I was younger, right? Because I've been pretty much shit on my entire career just because of me, right? Because I was always yes, 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 yes. Well, now when I started saying no, people were like, okay, what is this? No comprende. I don't understand this word. And I'm like, no means no. And I don't have to give you a reason why I don't want to do this. But the answer is still no. Like, I need to protect my mental health, my headspace, right? And getting involved with this is not going to protect this. A lot of it comes around like drama because I'm an empath, right? So I soak up everybody else's shit. And I was literally soaking up everybody else's shit right before I had like my breakdown. Now I have a box. So it's this big box. And if it smells like drama, it gets to stay outside the box. I only let it in if it's something that I can truly help with or if it will benefit me in some other way. If it's just truly drama and a bunch of other bullshit, it's going to stay outside the box. Yeah. I'm much happier. But it took me 60 years to learn that, right? Like, they don't teach you boundaries in school. They don't teach you boundaries at work. Like, they're always expecting you to be yes, yes, yes. Well, okay, how about fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, right? But now I get to say fuck no because that's right. I own my own business now. So if it's something I truly don't want to do, I get to say no to it. I get to pick and choose what's going to make me happy and not what's going to make everybody else happy.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Support for this podcast comes from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Did you know riders who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $180 per year? That's a whole new pair of riding gloves and more. Quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $178 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between October 2022 and September 2023. Potential savings will vary.
When you're on the go and it's time to refresh your energy, grab an ice-cold Celsius. Where zero sugar, 7 essential vitamins, and proven ingredients meets pure refreshment. Unlike traditional energy drinks, each sip of Celsius is a perfect balance of flavor and function. So whether you're hitting the gym, the office, or your next adventure, grab a Celsius at your local retailer or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
With McValue at McDonald's, you don't just get deals on the drinks. You get deals on McDonald's drinks. So when you're breaking a sweat, embrace the chill without breaking the bank. And when your crew is running on empty, keep your wallet full while refreshing the squad.
Ace the vibe check with drinks like lemonade, frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry, or any size drink for just $1.49. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And that's so freeing, as you said. And I love how you're like, and I don't have to explain it. Most of the time, people don't care about the explanation. Like if I ask somebody something and they say no, I'm like, cool, let's move on. Sometimes, especially if it's an email request and they start writing me war and peace about why they can't do it, I'm like, I don't care. You're making me make more time to read this. At the end of the day, the reason doesn't really matter. You're not down for it? Cool, I'll ask someone else. And I think that's the thing that we forget. If somebody asks us to do something, move house, pick up their script, do their groceries, take their kids to sport, whatever it is, and we say no, clean, easy, then they're free to ask somebody else. I think where it gets the messiest is when we say yes, knowing that we don't want to do it. Like I always use the example of a Tupperware party. You know, say you, or whatever it is, those stupid MLM home parties that you host and someone comes around and you invite your friends and they all say yes. And then on the day, the text messages start. My car's run out of petrol. I've got a cough. My next door neighbor's dog's missing and the whole neighborhood's looking for it. Whatever. You know you didn't want to go. Now you've inconvenienced the person who's cleaned their damn house and cooked for you. So it's like, oh, but it's so much more polite. No. An honest, upfront, direct, no thank you. You know, appreciate the invite. It's not my cup of tea. Is so much better than leading someone on and saying, yes. I had a client recently and they're single and they're looking for the love of their life. And she's like, this guy, I keep saying no to him and he doesn't get it. I'm like, oh, okay. So give me an example. How do you say no to him? And she's like, oh, well, he asked me out. I'm like, oh, I'm not available tonight. Oh, I've got something else on. I'm like, so what you're saying is not right now. You're not saying no. And I think so often we think, you know, people shouldn't have to get the hint. If you're not interested, you're not interested. So you know, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a no from me. As G-Rex said, it's freeing. And if people do ask why, it's rare. Recently, I got asked something that they said, why? And I was honest, like, because I don't want to. It was like I threw a grenade. Oh, my goodness. They started going off. And I was like, I'm not saying you shouldn't want to. I'm not saying this isn't amazing for you. It's a great opportunity. I'm not interested. So it's like, say one of you wants to raise money for cancer. I don't know, you guys have it there, shave your head for the Cancer Council?
Yeah.
You know, you can do that. Great. Suzanne, do you want to shave your head? Fuck no. But here's $10 and good luck with your fundraising. You know?
Yeah. That's so funny. It's hard. I think setting boundaries, well, I've had the, opportunity, and I've become very comfortable setting boundaries in my personal life, like even with my family, right? Which was super difficult in the beginning. Now, not a problem. Work, I'm learning because it's not so easy. And I think there is at least some level of expectation that, especially at work, well, you'll do it because this is your job, right? Like you just got to do these things. And I feel like that's the time where you get asked, well, why can't you do it? Or you should be able to do it, kind of a thing. And there is like, how can you set boundaries in that type of environment where the other person is expecting that of you?
Well, since COVID, my husband's mostly worked from home. Like they never went back to the office, and there's been checks and balances with that. But I heard him on the phone. It was the most fascinating. I only heard one in the conversation. I'm not trying to listen in. It's a small house. His office abuts mine. And anyway, I can only hear it. And he's like, okay, so which is the priority? And then the conversation's going on. So let me interrupt you right there. The definition of priority means one. And then there's something else going on again. Let me interrupt you again. I don't think I'm making myself clear. I can do one thing at a time. Which one would you like me to do in order of priority? You know, which of these tasks? Off they're going again. And he's like, I'm going to interrupt you for a final time. If you don't tell me which one you want me to focus on, I'm just going to pick the one that's the most fun for me. And I just remember listening in thinking, whoa, so many people wouldn't have the stones to do that. Be like, I'm going to get fired or whatever. But he's being honest. Sometimes, often at work, you know, this will take you 5 minutes. Oh, you don't mind, do you? And you do it, and then you don't say that it actually took 2 hours. You don't say that you stayed up till 10 p.m. doing it. You don't say that you cut into your own time. And I think this is where people pleasers, doormats, become exploding doormats because they keep taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it. And one day they just lose their marbles and everyone's like, where did that come from? That person's off the show. Because really you are. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you've been, yeah. And one day everything comes out, you look like a crazy person. Whereas if you say, okay, Dirty Skittles. I'm just going to say, last time you asked me to do this task that you said would take 5 minutes, honestly, it took me 2 hours. And if you've got receipts or screenshots or whatever, you can show. Now, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the task that you wanted done. So is there a way you could show me how it takes 5 minutes? Because for me, it took 2 hours, so I think I'm missing something. It's not sarcastic. It's not rude. If you do it from a place of just afterward here, because sometimes there is, like if I ever try and do Excel spreadsheets, like, holy cow, those things they would take me 2 hours. And my husband would be like, zip, zip, zip. So what's the problem? So sometimes it could be that. But most of the time, the boss, the person doesn't realize how long it took, doesn't understand what is involved. And when you show them, then, so have that conversation straight up, or you say to them, please don't give me a task at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I finish at 5.
Yeah.
Like, but setting these things, having these really difficult conversations. Brene Brown says, choose discomfort over resentment. It's so uncomfortable to say to someone, I can't finish this in the time allotted. I already have other things to do. I'm only one person, especially when places downsize. I remember I worked for a government agency once that put on an employment freeze, and all through their paperwork, they were crowing that they managed to lose 12,000 employees but still keep the production out. And they're like, how great are we and whatever. Every one of us was burnt out, exhausted, snippy, and hated our lives. And it was like, but nobody spoke up because you just keep towing the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, I just recently had the experience, or I guess the unfortunate fucking time of having somebody at work say, well, why? What are you doing? And I tried to be I tried to toe around it, where I was saying, well, I have a conflict at that time. I can't do it. Well, what's your conflict? And I'm like, and at some point I'm like, hey, I can't do it. I won't be online. Like, find somebody else. Like, I got so annoyed because I'm like, I shouldn't have to say it 5 times. But I think, to your point earlier in that story you shared, sometimes you think you're saying no, or that you think you're setting a boundary, but you're not. You're saying not right now, or you're not giving a direct enough answer. So,
or even sometimes you get stressed out, right? Like, so there was a day, and we're just going to call it a day. I was really super stressed out, and I stood up in the middle of the office and called everybody a bunch of fuckers. Like, because like I had competing priorities coming at me, right? And something needed to be done, but nobody would shut up and do what needed to get done. Instead, they just kept yelling at me, and I stood up. If I'd been anyplace else, I probably would have gotten fired. But I stood up. I called everybody a bunch of fuckers. Not my finest moment. Okay, it was not. And I was able to get my stuff done, but I just didn't know how to get through to people, right? Because everybody was so used to me being a yes girl, right? Yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do this. But like, when nobody shuts the fuck up long enough for me to like concentrate on what needs to get done, and you're piling more onto me, stressors like that can screw up your boundaries really quick, because you don't know how to respond in a PC way.
Yeah.
Such a great example. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, where things keep piling on and it kind of becomes like a snowball, which then becomes an avalanche, which then becomes a cry for help, like a literal, fuck everybody. It can happen in the household. And I think sometimes too, as pleasers and givers and helpers, we want to protect people from the consequences of their actions, but then they never learn it. So we're overriding our own boundaries. Another nascent, silly example, because people can usually relate to these. My kids go to school, they have a school hat, especially in Australia, skin cancer is a high thing. Have to wear your hat or you can't go out at lunchtime. Because kids know they can't go out, they're always stealing each other's hats and they're tearing the name tags off and then they're wearing someone else's and all this sort of stuff. So I say to my kids, we don't just put your name on the name tag. We have it in other secret places so you can say, oh, this is my hat. But in the beginning, they kept losing their hat and I kept buying another one. And it's like $20. So it's not the end of the world, but still it adds up. I got to the point where I was like, you get one hat allocated per year. After this, if you lose your hat, it comes out of your pocket money, your bank, your whatever. Like, it's yours to pay for. I'm not buying hats all the time. And I went from buying 5 to 10 hats a year to now just the one that's allocated, because they sure as shit take care of it when the responsibility's on them. So in the workplace, when we're like, oh, I'm just going to help them out, or I'm going to do them a solid, or I don't want them to do this, and then we're overworking for them, It's kind of like, yes, I can help you with this if you have it to me by 10 a.m. Tuesday. And if it's after that, then whatever happens is back on you. And that makes people so much more responsible for their own things, their own property. And it's funny, now my daughter started high school, they do like home ec and stuff. Mm-hmm. So as she was packing her bag, I was like, why is your apron still in the plastic? And she said something or other. I said, so where's your name written on it? And she's giving me this look. I'm like, you do know if that apron goes missing, that's out of your thing. So you ever seen somebody rip it out of the plastic so fast and start writing their name on it in Sharpie all over the place? Because it's like, I'm not replacing all of this stuff when you don't take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I think I'm learning to do things like that, or at least be more responsible for myself and what I need, instead of like curting around and trying to find like the polite way of saying like, no, thank you. You know what I mean? Like I need, dude, seriously, it's been like such a struggle. And I don't think I ever noticed it about myself, like how polite I was being or not saying what I needed, essentially, right? Like you're just sort of like not giving somebody direct enough information. And then when they ask for more, I can't get upset about it. Like I should have set that boundary. So it's hard. It takes a lot of practice.
100%. And we weren't modeled it as a child, as we said already. So why do we get mad at ourselves for skills we don't know? If we were three of us suddenly decided that we're going to go, what do you call it, like bobsledding. I don't know how to get into a bobsled. I've watched Cool Runnings, but that's about it. Like, are we going to be like, oh my goodness, we crashed sideways, or we just should know how to do this? Like, no, we're going to actually maybe watch some instructional videos and hire someone to teach us how to get in there safely. Like, are we going to go on a hot air balloon? Like, no, we're not going to go and fire that up and set the thing on fire and crash out of the sky.
Yeah,
but
and hope for the best.
Things, we're just like, oh, I should know. How should you know? Have you ever done this before? No.
Discovering a better way to money, that's everyone's jam. No matter what goals you've got queued up, a Northwestern Mutual advisor can help uncover opportunities that others might overlook. Let's get started at nm.com, the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Score a 2 for $5 deal on a sausage McMuffin with egg and more. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
People just assume that we know what we're doing, okay? Listen, no, I don't know how to do this. No, no is a complete sentence, and that's what people need to learn. And so there's a complete sentence, even at work, right? Yeah. And the other thing that, people that are asking that of us, they need to give us what the priority is. Mm-hmm. Don't just assume that we're going to do that for you, right? We might have other stuff going on. And don't come back and keep asking me if I can do it. If I said no the first time, it's still going to be no the fifth time, okay? Unless you give me that priority. And that's a hard lesson to learn, especially if you're a people pleaser, because you're always wanting to make everybody happy. Listen, when you do that, you end up making yourself unhappy. And you're taking away from your cup and your joy, right? We all deserve joy. And you can't let people just keep telling you, yes, yes, yes. No, the answer's still going to be fuck no. Okay, I said no the first 14 times. Answer number 15 is fuck no, because before it was just no, but now it's fuck no.
Yeah.
That makes me think sorry.
No, go ahead.
As I say, your example there, G-Rex, is, for whatever reason, what dropped into mind is hosting a dinner party. Usually the person who hosts the dinner party is miserable. Everyone who comes loves it. The food's great. The setup's great. Everything's great. But they don't sit down and enjoy the meal. They don't have anything to drink. They're constantly on their feet, moving people around. Oh, those two don't get along. Quick, rearrange who's sitting with there. Oh, the bathroom's over there. We're out of toilet paper. Oh, no. And it's just like, why are you even hosting this thing if you don't get to enjoy it And it's funny with Christmas, my late mother, our Christmas at our house was always like this full catastrophe, and it was miserable. Like Christmas morning wasn't fun, and like on Hallmark movies, though I don't think anybody's actually is, dare I say, Hallmark's got to answer for. But it was like, is the bathroom pristine? Do we have everything? Oh my goodness, do we have gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan-friendly, blah, 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 like ice options for this one person who might not even turn up anyway? And it was like, is this fun? No. Like I turned 40 last year and people asked me about the party. I was like, I'm not doing a party. Fuck no. I'm an introvert. I can't think of anything worse. I literally went on a cruise overseas so people couldn't give me a surprise party. It's my birthday. This is what I want to do. And I think we forget that. We're so busy making everyone else happy. It's like if I had my wedding again, it'd be a whole different experience because it's my day, you know?
Listen, we are just going to go to a cabin and get married. None of ya are coming. Okay? Y'all just fucking stay home.
I feel you on the hosting, though. Literally tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday, and we're hosting, and that is the level of stress. I probably could relate to your mom a lot, where I'm like, okay, I got to make like all the worry. Got to make sure I have this. Got to make sure this is there, and like I want to make sure everybody has a good time. And is the house clean? And it's like that's too fucking stressful. It's too stressful.
Fuck that shit. Literally, fuck it. Like I don't have people in my house. Like we have one friend. Like I don't care if my house is clean. I don't care about any of that. I want to enjoy myself. Yeah. And enjoying myself is like, no, I don't feel like cleaning my office. No, I don't feel like cleaning my room. Yes, I am 61 years old. Yes, it looks like Pigpen lives here. But you know what? This is my space, right? Like you're not going to come in here. So when somebody, ask me, are you going to clean your room? The answer is going to be no, because I got to be in the right headspace to do it.
Fair enough.
If you come to my house and it's clean, it means I don't like you. Because for some reason I felt the pressure. Like very recently, my husband invited over a workmate and his family for dinner. I was like, oh shit, I don't know these people. I'm going to have to clean up. And we've got a 2-story house, cleaned up downstairs. It was pristine. Like it could have been like show home clean. And then they started commenting on our Lego because we're like Lego obsessed. And my husband's like, oh, come to our room and I'll show you the super, it's Imperial Star Destroyer or whatever. No. Like, you can't take them upstairs. I didn't clean that part.
Yup. I feel that. I'm like, are all of the doors upstairs closed just in case somebody gets lost and goes upstairs for some reason? Close that shit down.
Yeah, like when I went to go see Dirty Skittles, she's like, I need to clean the house. I'm like, the fuck if you do. Hey, like, I don't care.
I get that from my mom, though. What can I say?
I just don't care. I know who you are as a person. And you know what? If your room looks like a tornado went through it, it's fine.
I would feel right at home. I'd be like, yep, you get me.
Listen, and don't move the shit on my desk, okay? I know exactly what's there. Don't move it.
Oh, yeah, it's organized chaos. I call it the archaeological dig site. So the stuff that's most recent is at the top, and then the stuff that's at the bottom, you got to go to dig for, but I know that it's there. So my husband's kind of a clean freak, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form. So when we were first together, he used to clean up after me, and I was like, I can't find it. He's like, it's in the cupboard. I was like, well, that's why I can't find it. Like when it was on the desk, I knew exactly where it was.
That is my husband. I was in this kick. To have all of the laundry done, which in our home, me, my husband, our son, it's never all done. Like, it's just never all done. There's always clothes that need to be washed. There's always clothes that have to be folded and put away. But I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I organized his closet because he's similar to what you just said, where he'll say, where's this one shirt? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. So instead, I color coded his closet. So when he says, where's my orange shirt? I'm like, how are you still asking me where your orange shirt is? You go to your closet, you go to the orange section, you find the orange shirt. Still doesn't work. Still doesn't fucking work.
Well, I had to introduce my husband to the chair, where it's like not dirty enough to go in the hamper, but not clean enough to be hung away. I'm like introducing the chair, which is where the majority of my stuff is. He's like, why is this stuff on the chair? I was like, because I can't put it away because it's not clean, but I can get another wear out of it. It's not dirty. So
Girl, what he does.
I love you. Like, you are my spirit animal. I'm telling you that exactly. And if it's on the floor, it's truly dirty, but I'm too fucking lazy to put it in the hamper.
But is it next to the hamper? Tell me it's not next to the hamper.
Could be.
God damn it.
No, I can't do the floor. I don't know why. I've never done the floor,
Good.
but I do the chair. So, and it's one of my pet irritations. If for my kids, they've soon learned not to leave their towel on the floor. It's like, how's it going to get dry if it's on the floor in a heap? No, it needs to be on the towel rack or whatever it's called.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So you had mentioned something earlier on that you said, start saying yes to yourself. What are some ways you say yes to yourself today?
Already. So we're recording this in the morning. When I wake up, I go for a walk. Mostly it's for my mental health. Probably 7 days out of 10, I'm like, this is my stupid walk for my stupid mental health. But, like moving my body, I notice if I don't do it, and I find first thing in the morning, because then I feel like if I've achieved nothing else, I've gone for a walk today, because I don't make my bed, like as was established from a messy person. But going for a walk, reading. I'm currently reading. My daughter loves the Percy Jackson series, but none of her friends do. So she's like, I need someone to talk about it with. I'm like, I understand that frustration. So I've given up my fairy smut until I get through 15 or whatever.
Fairy smut.
Oh, yeah. Like it was funny. I said it as an offhand comment on my own podcast once. I'm like, I don't like DMs. I think unsolicited DMs are the dick pics of the social media world. So don't DM me. But I said, the only time I'll answer is if you give me fairy smart recommendations. People did not disappoint. Now, I thought I was bad.
I need some recommendations. Sorry to completely cut you off of your train of thought.
I'll email you
oh.
later. But someone sent me their whole page. It's called We Read Smart on Instagram. And I was like, I'm down. But reading, like for pleasure, not just personal development or some intellectual thing. It's like I do read those type books too, but I don't count that as downtime. Spending a lot of time in the water. I absolutely love water, have my best ideas in the shower. And a lot of time alone. I'm very much introverted, empathic, and highly sensitive, similar to G-Rex. So sometimes I just need time alone. And explaining to people that my extended family is very extroverted. So when they popped out an introvert, they never understood. Like, why would you want to be alone? What's wrong with you? It's like, I'm wired differently. But with my husband's also introverted, not as much as I am. And I've got one introverted and one extroverted child. So, but explaining to them that, this recharges me. And there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I actually really kind of love it when everyone's out of the house and it's silent. Like when people hire babysitters traditionally, so you could go out for dinner or you could go out to the movies. I don't like kids' movies. I'm going to be honest here. I will suffer through them, but I don't particularly enjoy them. I had this genius idea once when my kids were 4 and 6. Why don't I hire a babysitter to take them to the movies? Because then I can have my alone time at home and they get to see the movie and it's a win-win. So finding things that you don't want to do and delegating them is one of my favorite things to do. Everyone gets their needs met, but not by someone who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love it. I think I'm the most introverted Leo that I've ever met because I'm not completely introverted, but you just said something that I was like, oh my God, my body felt tingles. I love it. This is going to sound so fucked up. And if my husband listens to this episode, I'm so sorry. But I love it when everybody's out of town or like on a business trip or at school or wherever the fuck they are. And I'm home alone. I love that shit. I love it. It's quiet.
I do it at least twice a year. It's my staycation. I kick out my husband and my kids. Kids usually stay with my sister. My husband goes to stay with his parents or wherever. I don't care. And I get my snacks and my Netflix binge and my books. Nice. And I don't ring anyone and nobody rings me bar an emergency. And some people get really affronted like this. They're like, but I've been to like retreats or things before with other women, yoga, meditation, and they're like on the phone to their husband and the kids the whole time. And they're like, don't you care about your family? And I'm like, I love my family, but I came here to get away from them. If you're just going to ring them every 5 minutes, then you're not getting the recharge thing. So I think, knowing that how you're wired so that when I do spend time with them, I'm actually spending time with them. I'm not on my phone because I don't check my DMs anyway. It's quality time. And I love that. And I don't feel any guilt or shame about it anymore or a need to apologize. Staycations are my favorite things. At home with my snacks in my space. It's the best.
I love that. I have some questions.
You found your spirit animal in Charlene. So, Turdy Skittles. Whatever your name is today.
You can call me whatever you'd like. Well, I'm going to use your line. Just don't call me late to dinner. She said that earlier. Another dad's saying, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, question. If you could go back in time to a younger version of yourself to give that younger version a bit of advice, what would you say to yourself and how old are you when you go back?
That's such a interesting question because it might change the entire trajectory of my life and I might not have what I have now. So part of me is like, I don't want to say anything because I think everything you do shapes who you are and you become. But funny story, I was on a trip recently and someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I said, for the longest time, I wanted to be a marine biologist. Like, I absolutely adored Free Willy, the movie, had it on VHS, had to explain to my kids what that was. Watched it so many times and rewind it that the tape kind of died. But where I lived, I grew up in Tasmania, the little island down the bottom of Australia. They didn't have marine biology as a course. And I didn't want to leave my family, so I didn't study it. So if I went back, I'd be like 17-year-old me and I'd say, follow that dream. But then I wouldn't probably have my husband and my kids and whatever. But the reason this gets really ironic is I met my husband a year later, we dated, and then a couple of years after that, when we got married, we ended up moving anyway. So I was like, that is so funny that we moved from Tasmania to Queensland, right up the top of Australia. So I was like, I did it anyway, but I'm always amused that I didn't follow my dream because I didn't want to leave my family, but then it ended up happening.
I love that. With everything you've gone through so far in your life, what has been the hardest lesson that you've had to learn?
To let some people go. Like, some people aren't going to come with you. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. Like, there's that quote, reason, season, lifetime, that we're all kind of semi-familiar with. Some friendships, some relationships are just for a reason or a season. They're not for a lifetime. And when we try and drag people with us, or force them with us, or change ourselves and not follow our goals because we don't want to leave them behind or whatever, then what should have been a celebration and this was a great friendship, closed chapter, becomes a messy divorce because we end up, for whatever reason, not standing each other. And I think so many times the chapter was closing. Neither of us were wrong or bad. And sometimes that season can come around again. But, I know past me had a lot of burnt bridges because I couldn't let things go. So letting things go and trusting that the next step is the right step. And Rob Bell says, and I love this quote, he's like, you only ever see the next step. Everything else is useless clutter. And sometimes we can get so caught up in, like that lady in the meme where she's got all the mathematical equations trying to work it all out. And it's just like, just take the next step. Just take the next step. So yeah, like sometimes people are going to go from your life and it's going to hurt. But, there's going to be other people.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love that. Okay, so now I have a question because you already answered the self-love and self-care one. So, what is your favorite word?
I was going to say my favorite word is like, because there's so many connotations. You could be like really, really good, like fuck yeah, or fuck no, or fuck off. Like it's the tone, and that's why I love voice app, like for coaching or because the thing is, there's so much in tone. Like they say, how much % of our language is nonverbal. So sometimes you can read a message and think, oh, that person's pissed off with me. But if you hear them, the way they say it is so much more potent than the word itself.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And so what is your least favorite word?
Moist. Can't deal. Everyone in my family knows. As soon as I hear it, I shudder. My husband made a cake yesterday and he's like, oh, it's so moist. And I'm like, it's spongy. And I was like, that'll do. I can't deal with that word.
I love that.
All right. So where can our listeners find you?
Best place to find me is my website, SuzanneCulberg.com. I imagine you'll put it in the show notes because if you can spell Culberg right on the first time, send me a message because nobody ever has. And I have my podcast there. I have my happenings. I have the Rebels in the House. We'll go to the Don't Click page. It's my favorite part of my website because, I'm rebellious as well. Send me a message. Let me know what you liked about the episode. And yeah, I'd love to know what anyone who's listening's favorite and least favorite word is as well, because it's always,
I love that. I love it.
This was such a great conversation. And, I kind of feel a little bit like a mentor to people, because I'm 20 years older than you guys. And if I can give you some lessons on setting boundaries that I wish I had learned when I was, 20 years ago, I just want to save you guys from a lot of grief. Like, okay, number one, don't stand up in the middle of your office and tell everybody to fuck off or call them a bunch of fuckers.
Sage advice.
Yeah. Like, just think about it. Think before you speak.
But don't get to that point too. I think, by starting those uncomfortable conversations, the resentment doesn't build to the point where you just lose it.
Yeah. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it so much.
It was awesome meeting you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'm G-Rex.
And I'm Dirty Skittles.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'd love to listen to your feedback.
We can't do this without you guys.
It's okay to be not okay. Just make sure you're talking to someone.
With McValue at McDonald's, you don't just get deals on the drinks. You get deals on McDonald's drinks. So when you're breaking a sweat, embrace the chill without breaking the bank. And when your crew is running on empty, keep your wallet full while refreshing the squad.
Ace the vibe check with drinks like lemonade, frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry, or any size drink for just $1.49. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.